Kirsty TV is about the power of sharing stories that heal ourselves and heal others. My guests share their most intimate stories and lessons learned along the way. Hi guys, it's Kirsty here from Kirsty TV. Today we're going to take a look back at one of my favourite moments in any interview. It's when my guests share what their turning point moment was. When I get to hear what it was that made them shift their view of the world, shift their thinking, want something different for themselves. Those turning point moments are really epiphanies in their life, something that helps propel them forward out of the darkness into the light, that helps them turn their life around. So today we're going to look back at some of those turning point moments and what they were for each of my guests. And when was the real turning point for you? Because for a while you resisted the diagnosis and you went into an even darker place. When was the turning point when you thought, I'm going to have to accept and deal with this and change some things I'm doing?
And there's this moment where on my 21st birthday, my parents took me out to eat. And as we're like cutting into our steaks, my parents started crying. And my parents are emotional people, but not always going to show it. And so at 21, I was like, why are you guys crying? And my dad looked at me, and as he was like sobbing, was like, we didn't think you'd live to be 21. And at 21, I don't think I understood what that meant. I still went out that night and had 21 shots of hard liquor to celebrate my birthday. And then later that year, one night I had passed out for around 22 hours. And I woke up that night and looked in the mirror and said, all right, you're either going to continue this and you're going to die, or you're going to have to change. And that was the night where I really accepted it.
And I went outside and I laid down in the driveway, my blanket, and I just looked at the sky. And it was the first time I've looked up, and just didn't think about anything. And I started thinking about how tiny the Earth is in our solar system and how small the solar system is in this universe and how tiny I must be. And I figured if I'm not small, then why do I feel like my problems, I can't get over it. Like I can't seem to shake it. Because my whole life I felt like I had like this black cloud just like hovering over me. And but that night I told myself I'm not going to let my past make me who I am.
And the turning point that you speak of was another day I dropped my daughter off from school, another day that I was sitting in the car, parked on the side of the road, absolutely devastated and sobbing. And it wasn't that I was sobbing that made it a problem. It was that the inner voice in my head was still saying, I can't do this. And the profound pivotal moment was I heard a voice in my head that I say was my God voice. It was not my husband's voice. It was the relationship I have with my God's voice. And very clearly, like a strict parent, said, you have to stop saying that. Super clear. And I was shocked. And I immediately got it, that I would fulfill my own inability to do it if I didn't change the tape in my head.
I was taking a class to deal with my sort of victimization, and one of the things that they helped me to become empowered was to do some what they call expressing and releasing, and to actually let myself be honest with myself about how I felt. And they gave me a big stack of pillows and a bat, and I was doing some very rigorous, I hate you, and I hate the situation, and like beating, and just actually it was the most cathartic, wonderful, energizing, amazing experience, just that alone. And when I laid down on my pillows, I began punching and screaming and all that crazy stuff for about a half an hour, 45 minutes, and I laid back on my pillows. And when I closed my eyes, I saw something in my heart that changed my life. And it was a diamond. And the diamond was bigger than my entire body. And the light streamed out. And when I saw the diamond in that moment, I knew that it was a representation of a deeper part of me. It was my true self that was showing itself to me and said to me not in words, but I knew that this is who I really am, not this thing that people point at and laugh at and giggle at and talk down to and condescend to. And that was the turning point. And since that experience, I take time every day to reflect on that particular part of myself.
To be able to go to that place of moving forward, enjoying life finally, it's such an amazing thing that for each of them it was something different that caused for them to take that turning point moment. So continue watching by clicking the play button on any of the screens below and you'll see the full interview. Ross with his story of learning to live with bipolar, Steph and Peggy on learning to love themselves, and Pamela on moving forwards after grief. I'll see you soon, and remember, sharing our stories heals ourselves and heals others.